Welcome back to the Daily Brief. Of course, we're definitely going to be taking you through what is happening, not just around Kenya in terms of what is making news, but also on social media where we are at K24 TV on Twitter and Facebook. That's where you're going to find us. Remember to hashtag K24 Daily Brief and keep interacting with us as we'll be sharing some of your views and feedback in just a bit.
And we told you it will be interesting to us what quality of coverage will be given in as far as the death of Robert Mugabe is concerned. And already AlJazeera.com has decided to zero in on some of his famous quotes.
Really?
Oh, this will be interesting. But for now, we need to cross over to the touch screen and have Shiksha Arora sample feedback, and then we continue with much more in as far as this show is concerned. Shiksha?
All right, let's get right into it, where we're going to be telling you what exactly you're saying on Twitter. And of course, we also mentioned earlier on that what people of different, of course, job statuses are saying. We've got at State House of Kenya that has tweeted about this, saying, "I wish to convey our deepest sympathies and condolences to the government and the people of Zimbabwe following the death of former President Robert Mugabe." We've got another one there that is from at Ole Tumbi, who is a State House spokesman, who says, "Safiri Salama Robert Mugabe." That is on the hashtag RIP Mugabe. You can also be a part of this conversation. Remember, do tweet as well, and we'll be sharing some of your views as well. We've got at I am Catch Vibe, who says, "Rest in peace, champ. You protected your own land and the African continent." Of course, moving on, we've got another one here that is from at Respect Baloi 1, who says, "Mugabe was the only man who implemented expropriation of land without compensation. RIP." We've got another one here that is from at Brian Flatface 1, who says, "For years I have listened and known about this only man. Good speeches, strong leadership, but he had his flaws because he is human. Rest in peace." And as Sam said earlier on, we'll also be zeroing in on some of the quotes, some of his famous speeches, and of course giving you a feel of what this man really was all about, his larger than life personality. We've got another one here that is from at Goranga Primrose, who says, "Let's cherish the good things he did and bury the bad. He still led us for 37 years. Rest in peace, power." And of course, we've got more feedback that we'll be sampling later on. But for now, just giving you a feel of what Zimbabwean leaders are saying. We've got at David Coltart, who says, "I've read several tweets stating that hashtag Robert Mugabe death is the end of an era. I beg to differ. Regrettably, the negative aspects of his legacy, violence, disrespect for the rule of law, corruption and abuse of power, live on in the new regime which overthrew him in the 2017 coup." Of course, this is Zimbabwean Senator David Coltart, who was once labeled an enemy of the state by Mr. Mugabe, and he says that his legacy really was marred by his adherence to violence as a political tool. And of course, we've got more details regarding this hashtag, but we'll be sampling it later on. For now, let's take you to what is happening here in Kenya with our correspondents, and let's listen in to what our reporter Kigotho is going to be giving us more details about. As you can see, he seems to have got a man standing next to him who he will be speaking to later on, and will be telling us what exactly is happening, where he is in the next few minutes. Well, I'm not sure if you can hear me, but a very good morning to you once again, Kigotho. A lot of activity happening around you. What exactly is going on?
Yeah, we are doing what we call a Lingala music and advertisement for these guys. And these guys are here because it's a Feel Good Friday. It's only in K24 that we do this. We allow people to showcase their talents, and also maybe to tell us what.
Well, of course, we'll definitely be getting back to Kigotho. That seemed like a very interesting story that he was covering up with regard to dancing, of course. Lingala, as he said, a very interesting form of dance, which, by the way, I've tried. And it is a lot of fun, I must say that. So, yes, maybe later on, Samuel and I can take a few minutes just to get our artistic side out here.
We try it right now? You don't want us to do it right now?
Maybe at the end of it, since it's Friday.
It's Friday.
So at the end of the program, sounds like a plan.
Sure, and we told you already that save for the feedback that Shiksha has been sampling, especially on the death of Robert Mugabe. It will also be interesting to see how international news channels are treating this particular issue, and AlJazeera.com has decided to zero in on some of his most famous quotes, and I'm just going through some of them. Some definitely I will not be in a position to share with you, at least not on air, because at the end of the day the show is rated GE. However, he's quite written or he said a lot in terms of so many issues, and in 2016 he gave the indication that he could be ready to leave power, because he was asked during a TV interview whether he was ready to groom a successor, and this is what he had to say. Grooming a successor, is it an inheritance? In a democratic party, you don't want leaders appointed that way. They have to be appointed properly by the people. He also had quite a lot to say when it comes to cricket, and he said that cricket civilizes people and creates good gentlemen, and that is why I want everyone in this country to play cricket. I want ours to be a nation of gentlemen. This is of course one of his most famous tweets. But remember, in 2017 during the UN General Assembly, he was one of the presidents who had the nerve to call out President Trump right on his face. I will be telling you what he told the president back then. But for now, let me take you to Simon Chelugui. He's the Cabinet Secretary, Water and Sanitation, and listening to what he's saying.
Sometimes looking very nice, but they have no point of waste management. So our business, let us be understood clearly. We are not stopping business. We are not stopping habitation or institutions. We are stopping pollution. That is our game. That is our plan. That is what we are doing. So I appeal to everybody that is having maybe has not taken care or checked what is discharging to do pre-treatment test, lab test, to ensure he complies with WARMA, NEMA, and all regulators' standards. In terms of timeline, we want to form a small team, implementation team, that combines government, regulators, and the industries. And we are giving them a period of 2 months to execute and map out and notify the pollutants. They are informed on time and ahead of time to know what level of pollution they are causing. From that period, we would expect them on their own to invest in treatment of their wastewater. And thereafter, we will set a timelines on when these people should be. There are areas which may not be corrected by that approach, including the informal settlements, including those who have encroached on the riparian area. And our message is, please, let us move out of a riparian area. Please, let us stop blocking or trading or doing activities on the river. That way, if they don't, then we have no other option as government but to enforce the regulations. So if we have about 3 months, we should have a very clear roadmap that has embraced the industry, government, and regulators. And our job as government is to coordinate enforcement and compliance of these standards. Thank you.
Talking about the forest cover in your speech, can you comment on the ongoing reclaiming of the Mau?
Reclamation of the Mau forest, which is a big ecological system, is an ongoing, is a work in progress by government. And we have been informed very clearly that it is the source of 12 rivers. And what government is doing is to ensure that that forest cover is maintained. Of course, there have been human activities that happened before, but as government, our then approach, as you have heard, government has asked the people to move without causing another human suffering. But through persuasion and information, I think I've seen people moving out voluntarily. And that way, we should be able to restore back, or the forest itself regenerating. The importance of forest cover to us as Ministry of Water is so important. And we would be the champions, the first ones to ensure that this cover and all our forests. I've seen rivers dry in Mount Kenya, in even rivers that come out of Mau. And the impact of Mau to 5 lakes. And some of those lakes are trans-country and trans-international. Like River Nile is the source of River Nile is Lake Victoria. So it has huge impact. The Mara River, the tourism, the wild beasts, the world-acclaimed wild beasts that come and flock every year the river. So for that, as Minister of Water, we are championing restoration of all our forests, protection of our water towers. Of course, as government, we would want to do it in a humane way. We would want to do, there are those who may have gotten one way or another illegal documents, but as we will have to employ the same process that government has been doing when they are, if there were mistakes that were done before, then government will come up with a solution on how to sort out those who may have gotten to site by mistake. So, but the mission and the principle is clear that our forests need to be restored back. I think working together with NEMA, there are activities that have happened before to stop and deter. I think the cases are ongoing, and NEMA being the lead agency.
Now, that is Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui. And besides the whole question of industrial effluent management, he's also talking about 2 critical stories that have been covered by K24 TV. The first being the drying up of rivers, especially in Tharaka Nithi and the larger Meru region. And he said that policy is the key to unlocking the stalemate that is contributing to this state of affairs. And also he is also questioned or commented on the ongoing Mau evictions. And he said it goes even beyond the nation. There are other factors that we've got to consider as government, and that is precisely the reason why the Mau evictions have to continue as planned. So definitely a newsworthy story there that will be forming part and parcel of the content that we will have not only for the Daily Brief but for other bulletins right here at K24 TV. Right about now, however, I'm handing you over back to Shiksha Arora, who's standing by with a very interesting report. Clearly, it's Friday, Shiksha.
Definitely, and the moods are definitely uplifted and high, because it is a feel-good Friday at the end of it all. And right here on K24 Daily Brief, it's not about the hard news that we like to take note of only, especially on Fridays. We also like to get into some light-hearted stories, and getting right into it, we're going to be taking you back to Kigoto, who is going to be giving us the definition of what Feel Good Friday actually means. So in Nakuru, as we saw earlier on, he's got acrobats with him, and of course they will be dancing to a dance form that is very commonly it's loved, and I've tried it before. It is known as Lingala. Maybe I'll bust a move later on with Samuel and he can tell me his version of Lingala in studio, and of course we'll definitely get into it later on. And right now, Nakuru town is what is happening. It's a buzz. It is cheerful, it is amusing, it is interesting, it's colorful. As we saw, they've painted their faces and they looked pretty much in the mood for Feel Good Friday. So we'll be taking you to Nakuru, and Kigoto will be giving us more details regarding what exactly is happening there. He's on the streets, he's interacting with people, you and I, of course. So if you see him there, make sure you go there to him and kindly bust a move or two for us to see as well. Maybe we can replicate it later on, Samuel.
First things first, did you just dare me? Then we get the producer of the show to give us a bit, and we see how it's going to go down right here in studio. But again, remember, Shiksha, as we've been talking to our viewers, in the course of this particular show. Yes, it's Friday, and we appreciate the feel and the mood. And in a bit, K24 will be bringing us up to speed with a very interesting piece from not from Mombasa, but from Nakuru. But yet another interesting issue right about now, Shiksha, that is connected with the death of Robert Mugabe and his quotes. And already this is forming content for various news outlets out there. And before we even get to the quotes, Shiksha, K24 is ready.
It's time for K24. All right, let's get right into it and let's go to Nakuru. Yep. I definitely want to come over to you, K24, and bust a move or two, because that looks like a lot of fun. Maybe you should also join them later on and tell us a bit about what you're going to be talking about in this Feel Good Friday.
It's a Feel Good Friday from Nakuru County today, interacting with acrobats and outside broadcasters. These are known to be advertising different or various products in Nakuru County. They use their energy, their music, their dancing to advertise. And as you can see, let me just give you a small view of what we are feeling here in Nakuru County. Let's go, guys!
Who's the man?
Shiksha Aurora, this can go the whole day, and as we go through, let's just cut the music a little bit. They tell us exactly how did they learn these moves and why do they use this kind of advertisement to woo buyers towards what they are selling. Kindly, the DJ can just kindly, kidogo. No, the music, you can just cut the music a little bit. Sasa naona ya kwamba nyinyi ni watu ambao umeiva kabisa katika uga huu wa kudensi. Je, mlijuaje ya kwamba mnaweza kutumia kipawa hiki kuweza kuwaleta watu na kuweza kuwarai watu wakaweza kuingia kwenye biashara na kununua?
Okay, mwanzo wa shughuli hii ni katika ile hali ya kukutana na watu kadha wa kadha, manake hatukuanza hivi. Tulianza mahali ambapo hatukuwa hivi. Lakini wakati muda uliposonga tukagundua kwamba talanta yangu inaweza ikaingiana na huyu jamaa na mwingine, ili ndio maana tukakuja tukashikana kwa pamoja.
Pengine hii ni kazi ambayo kwamba inachosha sana. Huwa pengine malipo yanaweza kuwasaidia pale nyumbani na pia kuweza kusaidia familia kuweza kujikimu.
Ni kweli kazi kuchosha naye inachosha kama kazi zingine. Lakini kazi ni kujitolea. Na kwa hali hiyo huwa inakidhi mahitaji pale nyumbani. Wakati mwingine unapata yale malipo, wakati mwingine malipo sio mazuri sana, lakini tunapambana tu na hali, manake inabidi.
Wewe unakaa kama mkongolise, mmekaa wakongolise batoto ba muzika, extra muzika pale. Je, nyinyi wa Kongo?
Si wa Kenya. Lakini cha msingi ni ile art yenye unafanya lazima uwe kama hao. Lazima uvae kama hao. Nikienda kucheza nyimbo ya Kikuyu, lazima niwe na zile gwanda za Kikuyu, lazima ni present hapo. Nikienda Kimasai lazima niwe na ile shuka. So, kwa sababu nawakilisha muziki ya Kongo, lazima niwe na hizi attire, niwe na bendele yenyewe, niwe na lugha yenyewe na niwe na ufasaha wenyewe.
Yale mazoezi ambayo nimeona mkifanya hapa, hata zile dance moves ambazo mko nazo zinaashiria kwamba ni mmekana mkaangalia wale wa Kongo vile wanafanya. Je, mnajifunza siku gani na kwa siku mnaweza kutengeneza pesa kama ngapi hivi?
Kwa siku yategemea. Kuna zile corporate functions, kuna zile shows za hapa, kuna zingine za hoteli. Sawa zinavari ni wapi tunafanya. Kuna zingine ni zako za kibinafsi, ni birthday ama ni wedding. Sasa malipo yanategemea.
Shiksha Aurora, it's now yours for the asking. We are going to present to you a Lingala song. And as you continue with the briefing today, make sure it's a Feel Good Friday. Even in the studios, Kina Chimjor, Kina Sam, let them know that Lingala is live in Nakuru. And K24 is the only station that brings you what people are doing at their place of work. Let's go. DJ, twende kazi. This is K24 Mwangi. My camera person is John Wangombe. And we are leaving you in Congolese way.
A fantastic way to get rid of those extra calories, right? Brilliant stuff there from Kigotho in Nakuru. Quite a light-hearted story, of course, giving us a feel of what the youth there are doing to make ends meet. And that's quite an innovative way indeed when it comes to just bringing food to the table. They've done it the right way. They're having fun while at work. And I guess I would absolutely love that job later on in life. For now, it's time for a short break. We'll be right back on the Daily Brief. Make sure